The Los Angeles Clippers have turned heads this NBA season. The Clippers are one of the best teams in the league, and I dare say a championship contender. The Clippers over the last 4 years have been one of the most disappointing teams in basketball. Let's just be real. We all know that now there is a stigma or a narrative, whatever you want to call it. If these guys can't stay healthy, then they don't go anywhere. And that has been the reality for the last 4 years for this Clippers team. They just simply can't stay healthy. They have the talent. We all know what Kawhi Leonard is capable of doing. We've seen it happen before in the past. And we know as well the talent and level of player that Paul George is. And in this offseason, in this NBA season period, there wasn't really much expectation, I feel like, for the Clippers. It was like, be a hit or miss. And then they go out and they trade for James Harden. And James Harden, when this trade happened at first, it was kind of really bad for the Clippers. They were losing games, and Tyronn Lue was saying, we'll figure this out in like 5-10 games. And they weren't really figuring it out at the time. But eventually, they got the ball rolling. Guys have been healthy. Kawhi's been playing for the most part all this NBA season. Paul George is playing really, really well. Not to mention James Harden is, especially as far as what he brings to this Clippers team. Not to mention what Russell Westbrook is doing off the bench. I think when you add that on to the versatility of this Clippers team and the type of players they do have on their roster, there's pretty much nothing that this team can't do. They can do everything as far as basketball goes. They can defend, they can shoot, they can drive into the paint, they can do mid-range because you have Kawhi. There's many dynamics of this Clippers team that makes them so scary to play. One of the most used Clippers lineups is Kawhi, Paul George, James Harden, Zubac, and Terrence Mann, and they have a plus 17.4 per 100 possessions. They're big in Zubac, who's averaging a double-double as well. Give him his credit when he deserves. Add on to the versatility defensively and offensively of James Harden, Terrence Mann, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard. I mean, defensively, not as much James Harden, but still, let's be real. That still is a very, very talented team, and they've been beating teams out of the park. Five-man unit in comparison is better than the Oklahoma City Thunder, who is one of the top teams in the Western Conference. It's better than the Minnesota Timberwolves, who have the number one record in the Western Conference. It's not as good as teams like the Celtics and the Milwaukee Bucks, but they still are in that contention. Some of the best teams in the league, and they are in that picture with the best of the best. Now, do I think they're better than teams like the Celtics? Maybe, maybe not. But they will definitely give the Celtics a run for their money if these two teams are the teams that meet in the NBA Finals. Despite that, though, right now, for the Clippers this season alone, they've just been amazing, man. Like, shooting has been amazing. Everything as far as their offense, ever since Terrence Mann has entered the starting lineup for the Clippers, they have gone 21-6. They were not good at first in that experiment when they had all those guys starting. But now we've seen the significant improvement of this team, and they look like a team that is a team that will be championship contender. And let's not forget, and I'm going to add in this narrative as well, because when you talk about the Clippers, honestly, narrative is a big thing because it's just a lot of things that has happened over these last few years for this team. But really, I would say the biggest narrative for this team is that all these guys have a lot to prove. Kawhi Leonard, yes, he is a Hall of Famer, a generational talent player, but this man has a lot to prove. He's been in and out many years now for this Clippers team, and we need to actually see what he can do healthy to lead this Clippers team to an NBA championship. Paul George, we all know, it's always been about him and what he can do in the playoffs, and he's shown that he's had that capability in the past for this Clippers team when they made it to the Western Conference Finals. But this is really the opportunity to see what he can truly do on a bigger stage. That's if these guys stay healthy, man. We just hope that they can stay healthy. Let's not forget, James Harden, Russell Westbrook. First off with James Harden. James Harden, requests all these trades to these different teams. And now with this opportunity that is showing itself with this Clippers team, it's do or die for him now at this point. There's no going back, in my opinion, after this. If this doesn't work out for James Harden, then I feel like this will just diminish his legacy. Not that he isn't going to make the Hall of Fame or anything, but as far as just being that level of a player, yeah, I don't think that you can have him really in that conversation anymore. He has a lot to prove in that way. And for Russell Westbrook, we all know the bash and scrutiny that Russell Westbrook went through when he was on the Lakers, and he already, in many ways, have redeemed himself on this LA Clippers team. But can these guys get a ring? You know, I've always wanted to see Westbrook possibly get a ring, even Harden possibly get a ring, and these guys have come close in the past. And it's crazy because these two guys, Harden and Westbrook, were both facing against this Clipper team many years ago, which is just crazy now that all these guys are on the same team together. But I'm just going to add, that is really the key narrative really for all these guys. They have a lot to prove. And if they can stay healthy and consistent as they are this season, they played a lot of minutes now together. This Clippers team is going to be a very, very hard team to beat in this Western Conference. And I think it's time for people now to really give them the credit that they deserve and put them in that contention right now in this moment as one of the best teams in the league and a team that is going to be very, very tough to beat if they're all healthy in the playoffs. But I hope you guys enjoyed this brief video today. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more basketball content each and every single week. Have a great day. Peace.